This is my Gencon 2024 haul video. Not all of this was purchased by me. Hello and welcome to Assorted Meeples. I'm Phillip the Meeple on duty, and as I said, this is a video. Sorry, I have a kitten attacking my curtain to the side there. This is my 2024 Gencon haul. I am going to break this up into a few categories. Let me actually grab my notebook right here. I'm going to break this down into promos, games I bought, and games given to me to create content around. Now, I'm doing it that way just so you guys understand that I did not buy all of these myself. Quite a few of them were actually given to me. Surprisingly, they were just given to me. I didn't ask, I was offered. So I'm going to start with the promos because that's the smallest pile, and some of this is stuff coming out or stuff interested. Like this, I bought a piece of artwork. This is the one piece of artwork that I bought. This is by Chuck Gribb, and it is for the Magic the Gathering Bloomborough set that just came out. I didn't know this was a part of it until I saw the little sticker after I purchased it, signed by the artist, and it came home with me because this is absolutely phenomenal artwork. We're going to slide that up front here. Another one, this is just a little thing that I saw that I wanted to shout this game out. Barbarian Wars. It is set in the Barbarian Battlegrounds world, and it looks and feels a lot like a very simple Advanced War setup, and I'm curious to see how it comes to the fruition because it was in a very rough type set. Fabula Ultima Tabletop JRPG. This is aiming to create a JRPG feeling on your tabletop with their classes and the way they structure their battles and everything like that. This looks like a really interesting system. And sadly, I was not able to buy anything from these guys, but Game Envy, they had a really gorgeous lights and other mini painting stuff as well. Now let's get to the actual promos. First off, I had to jump in a couple of lines and wait for demos. This is the Symbiote deck. One of these is earmarked for Mad Claw already. The other is for my collection. I was very disappointed with that booth and how it was handled. On top of that, I joined a King of Tokyo tournament. I got bounced in the first round because gaining 15 points in 3 rounds scares a lot of people, and they instantly go for Murder Quest. So this is, and my dice abandoned me in my 4th roll. So I got the promo of Cyber Kitty for the Dark Edition of King of Tokyo. So that means I have all the promos, almost all the promos. I think there's a few cards that I don't have. I got 3 dice. These are chicken dice that go to flock together. And I got a signed villain by Matt Mundy, the creator, and Andrew Bosley, the artist for it as well, because I went and chatted with those guys a little bit and they were like, oh, here, have this. I have a video I need to do on the Smoking Bones Kickstarter that's going on right now that I need to get to because I promised Andrew I'd do some coverage of it, and I look forward to covering it because it looks absolutely fantastic and I got to flip through it. But we'll get into that in another video. This is Quetzal and Ladder. This is not necessarily a promo. This is just a limited release for another racer for Dodo's Riding Dinos. And I saw it at their booth, Draco Studio booth, and I was like, what is that? I don't have that. Give it to me because I have all of Dodo's Riding Dinos. This is a sad day for me. This is a promo for the Rallyman Dirt now coming out from Synopsis Games. It's a sad day because I just have the 2 base copies for GT and Dirt and not everything involved with it. But I wound up picking up a set of these from the Flat River Group booth. Now, when I say sad day, this is Holy Grail went bankrupt. I did not get my product as of yet. It's still tied up in the French legal system. I don't know how it'll end up or not, but Synapses has bought the rights to the IP, and they are going to be pushing forward. And it sounds like an announcement will be coming sometime in the next couple months, right around Essen, with some new stuff coming at us. And then I did stop by the Ravensburger booth, and I was given a card for Lorcana. It's a Flotsam and Jetsam. I don't know what to do with it because I don't have any of that yet, and I don't know if I want to buy into it. That's a whole nother video that I think could be done. Maybe sit down with Braden someday and we could chat about what Lorcana is doing and why it would be a good system to get involved in. So I finished this video and I've realized I've done a terrible job of telling you guys Patreon is a thing. Go check it out. There's a link in the description. $1 gets you into our Discord, and we have patrons nights, game nights, and all that stuff once a month. Come hang out with us. It's one of the most non-toxic gaming communities out there. All right, back to regular schedule programming. Now, all the games coming from this side of the table are going to be games that I purchased myself, and I want to go through why I picked them up, starting with this one. Yikers is a magnetic game that my wife bought. You set out the board, you are setting out magnets on the board, and if no other magnet is attracted and connect to it, you get to leave it on the board. You are trying to get rid of all the magnets you have and be the first one out. That is all I know about this game. She saw it, she wanted it, and it's now ours to play with our kids because it does sound, it's a great principle. I'm curious to know how that one plays out. Next off, we'll pull up this one. This is Get Bit. I will be covering this one, and I will be scanning the rule book and handing it over to Braden to upload so that we can play this as soon as possible on the Meeples. The basic premise of this game is you are in a bathtub, you are a plastic scuba diver toy, and there is a shark in the water with you. You must outswim all the other scuba guys. If you are the last person or the closest to the shark after all the cards have played, you lose a limb, and the little plastic guys all pop off a piece. And it is absolutely fantastic in a very morbid way, but we'll leave it at absolutely fantastic. We have already played that game. Me and Heather did a 2-player game, and it is everything I hoped it would be. And I'm sure with the kiddos, it will be even more than that. Ascolotl is, I think... Nope. We have 2 games that we have not played yet out of this stack. Ascolotl is a party game that my wife bought because our kids like Ascolotl. God, I'm not even going to try. Why do you do this to us? But it's just a simple party game. And I have not read the rules. It has, the seal on this one has not been broke yet. I did not ask too many questions as my wife was excited for it. And so I was happy to put it in my bag. Next up, we have A Gentle Rain. This is by Incredible Dream, correct? Yeah, Incredible Dream, which had a fantastic booth with all their Kinfire games, as well as this. This is the deluxe edition that you can pick up at Target or anywhere. They had this one, or they have the smaller box, which, boy howdy, that was a tough choice because they were the same price. I gave Heather the final choice, and she wanted the plastic flower blossom tokens. This one you are very quietly putting out. It's a very calm game. Very, very calm game. So they knew what they were doing when they made it. Tactily, these tiles feel absolutely amazing. On the bottom side, there's like a little bit of a grip, so it holds onto the table quite nicely. And as you put out pieces, you can only, once you put out one piece, you can only match the color of flowers on all sides. When you enclose a corner, you can put down a flower of that color on the 4 sides that closed it in. Very simple concept, very fun, very relaxing as you play through it. Slide that one over. I'm going to lay that one down. Diced Veggie by KTGB is absolutely a fantastic game. This, I saw it in Barnes & Noble. I decided that I wanted to check it out. They had it on display, and once they kind of explained it to me, I'm like, yeah, that's something I want. This is very similar to a Sushi Go style of game, where you're going to have dishes, and you need to collect the dice to fulfill those dishes. It's different, but it has a very similar feel, and I look forward to getting this one up so the Meeples can play it as well. And I really just bought it for my children, us, and at our house, because I think we would get a lot of fun out of it. Beacon Patrol here is a very simple game where you are working cooperative. It's from anywhere from 1 to 4 or possibly 5 players with the expansion. And you are laying out, and you're trying to enclose tiles side by side. And when that's the only way you get points. So it's very much a working together to get your ships where they need to be. Very fantastic gameplay. Very easy to get to the table, and it's a very relaxed game. We have played this one. We did play Diced Veggies and Gentle Rain as well. All fabulous games. I cannot say enough that I spent my money well at this Gen Con. This is the outside one that I did not expect to pick up. Mistwind came and went on Kickstarter. I was not in a place to pick it up. It is a pick up and deliver route building game with a lot of similarities between Ticket to Ride, and the mechanics also felt a lot like Quadrupolis as well, which is a game that I really enjoy the concept of, if not actual practice. This is one we have not played yet, but when he gave the demo, it gave a lot of options of what you could do, while also creating places where it's going to create some great grind in there as well. Callahan said he wanted to demo it and didn't get a chance to, so now we have it so we can get it to the table. I don't feel like it's going to be that hard to get to the table with our group, but we have games out the ears that need to get played now. So, yeah, this was the surprise one I was not expecting to bring back. And it's also got flying whales. You are merchants with flying whales, connecting routes and building routes and delivering goods. Absolutely fabulous content. Now, everything over on... Oh, I will point this one out. This one is not a Gen Con purchase. This is I bought it while I was at Gen Con and it arrived home at the same time. This is Wyvern Knighted Spider-Geddon. This brings me up to having all the currently available minis. I did not get the Witching Hour, but that I'm not paying out the nose knowing it's going to come to retail here in a couple of months. So I got this. Not a big deal. Just wanted to point out that it was on the table too. Didn't pick it up there, but I bought it while I was at Gen Con because it went to a really good deal on Amazon. And Simon lied saying that it was going to get to stores and game stores, and I've waited long enough for it. So Guilty Gear by Level 99 Guilty Gear Strive by Level 99 Games is a 2-player hand management game as you try and beat up your opponent. This system works with... Oh, God. The system plays in with another one of their systems, so if you have all the characters for that, you can play all of these characters against them. It creates a very big universe in which to play in. Level 99 booth was really awesome, really fun, really interactive to talk with them, and hopefully you get to work with them in the future. I have a card that I need to reach out and talk to them about what's coming out and possibly getting some coverage stuff from them. Now, I walked into... I'll pull this game out. This one, Arch Ravels. I walked into this game booth looking for Adam McCrimion, because he's a part of a face group, the Bandits group, Dad's group on Facebook with me, and he said, stop by this booth, I'll be there. And so I kept playing tag with him, not finding him. And then when I did, we started chatting, and I was like, yeah, I do board game content. And he just grabbed a box and threw it across the counter at me. And I was like, but he's like, no, go for it. My name's on the box. It's fine. I was like, oh, okay. So I tucked it under an arm, and it was a good conversation with him. I love talking family and games and everything that goes in with that with people, because it's just, it all correlates to, in my brain, board games and family and all that stuff as your kids grow. So this is one that I was happy to pick up too, because I have a feeling that Heather is going to love this. And when we were talking about this one, he talked about, like, he wanted to create a game that would entertain board gamers or hobbyists who have played a lot of games, as well as pull in people who didn't necessarily like games with the theme. And what he found when he was looking through that stuff was that crafting was a theme that a lot of people really, really resonated with. So we have Arch Ravels. Now, coming up, I do believe there is a Kickstarter coming up for some more expansion content. I need to get this one played, and I want to with Heather because it just sounds like a lot of fun. I walked into, on Sunday, the Surfing Meeple booth looking at Galactic Renaissance. They had Matago games. Surfing Meeple was like 5 game companies all in one, and I think they came down from Canada. At least there's at least one Canadian in that group, and this next stack of games I was not prepared to receive. I just went in and I was talking, and I asked, hey, who can I hand a business card off to? And AJ, they pointed me at AJ. He was wearing a Colossal shirt. I cannot remember your last name, nor did I get your business card, besides you taking ours. So terribly sorry, I don't know your last name. You are a wonderful human being, and you said, you know what? Let's get you some things to show off and play. The first one is Papillon Gardens. This is a roll and write, stamp and write. It's a flip and write too. This has a lot going on in it in a very small game, and I like that. They did well with this one. I did not play Papillon, the butterfly one before. I think that was the original. This one I will have some content coverage of, because it's like, this is a new one and I want people talking about it. So we'll talk about it. We got a gameplay of this one in already, and once you get into the swing of it, it is a fabulous game. So look forward to some coverage of this. Gorgeous components. This is a well put together game. He also handed over Chu Han, which is set in the romancing kingdom of China. He threw it in my bag, and it's a 2-player game because me and Heather like playing a lot of 2-player games. And it is a card back and forth where you are taking apart your opponent. I am very curious about what this one is, and I love that era of Chinese history with the Chu and Han clans. So very interested. This one is by Matago. And this one is House of Cats. You are going to be laying out cats, and you are going to be scoring points. I don't know a bunch more about this, but a lot of people liked it, and it is by Aparta Games. This should get played by me and my wife, and we will torture our kittens and make them sit with us. I'm gonna slide those on top. We'll move this guy over. We'll slide Arch Ravels over. And then I have Guardlings. This is a bag building point score. The game lasts until you can score 20 points in one round to win. You are going to be laying down tokens, pieces, and scoring off of gen builds. I need to get the rules into this, but it sounded very unique in how it was doing it. And I love the fact that you are building up to 20 points to win the game. There's no like, oh, I got all this, so I win. No, you got to hit the 20 point in one round to get it done. And last up, I hit, as I mentioned before, the Draco Studios booth. Now, I stopped by because I am invested in their company. I have backed the Dodos Riding Dinos stuff. I have backed at the print and play level War for Chicken Island and also Kiwi Chowdown, and I have Party Panda Pirates coming very soon. This stuffy was purchased by us, but I put it over there because it's all together for that. Heather wanted it, so she got it. So she's got another stuffy. Very nice quality. I love it. Next up, we have Cosmic Cow Collectors. This is one that I watched the Kickstarter on, was not in a place to back it. And when I was chatting with him and asking a lot of really pointed questions about new expansions for Dodos Riding Dinos, other games in the Avian Archipelago, which they kind of dropped into updates without making a big point about them. And he said, come back Sunday and we'll see what we can, do some content for. And so I got this one. I look forward to this one. Cosmic Cow Collectors. I cannot say enough about this one. You are going around, you are trying to get the most points by stealing cows. Yes. Next up, I have the War for Chicken Island. This is the second edition box. I was given the core box, and I'm a completionist, so I wound up picking up all the expansions that go with it, plus the Avian Trilogy crossover and the Mayhem pack, which adds 3. These are basically racers that can be used in any of the other ones. They have cards that they can play into other ones. And then the playmat, nice playmat to play War for Chicken Island on. This is what I like about their Avian, all their games actually, is they are really solid games that are fun and wacky and entertaining while you're playing it. So you're playing a really solid game while you're being entertained. And I appreciate that because a lot of games you either have one or the other. I played Gaia Project and it is basically Excel with a couple of graphics, the game. And barely slapped on graphics, the game. This one is about theme as much as it is about the mechanics behind it. I also really liked William because of his passion to show Latin American designers off and really bring them to the rest of the world, not just leave them trapped in Mexico or South America or wherever they're coming from. They are really pushing to get around the world and show off these amazing designs that they are creating. And I am all for that because the games that are coming out of them are just phenomenal. War for Chicken Island is a area skirmish strategy game with no player elimination. On this tiny island, each player controls an army of chickens and other constructs led by unique characters who try to humiliate the opposing leaders to become ruler of Chicken Island. Roll your dice, gather your resources and cards for battle, build wacky constructs for the chickens to pilot, and ultimately clash into battles where all players are able to affect the outcome. So yeah, I want to get this one open as well. Every game I want to get open. This one is very high on the list, just with Mistwind and Cow Collectors. All these are very high on the table to get to you guys in content form, whether it's on a live gameplay or it's a recorded longer gameplay or me covering them after I learned how to play them. So that's my Gen Con haul. I had a ton of fun this year. The one disappointment after kind of talking with the guys is I realized there were a lot of companies there that grouped, like the big conglomerates grouped all their name brands into these massive cells where you weren't sure. Like Flat River Group had Elio, Synopsis, and a couple other brands under their name, and they just had a big block in the middle of the floor where they were demoing and had their store, which Flat River Group did absolutely amazing, and they smashed it through, whereas Asmodee, on the other hand, was this big block where it was hard to get what was going on with them. So leave a comment down below what games you think you'd want to see first, what games should I get covered first that you're most curious about, and we will talk to you guys next time. All right, bye.
If you like what you just saw, please support us by hitting that like button and subscribing to our channel for more great gaming content.